In this video, I'm going to show you how to pay off credit card debt using the money you already make. No side hustles or second jobs needed. So if you have credit card debt but no extra money to pay it off, stick around until the end because this simple strategy can help you pay off your credit cards, save money, and even increase your credit score at the same time. The strategy we'll be using is similar to velocity banking, and yeah, it takes some discipline. But if you follow it step by step, you can get rid of your credit card debt once and for all. Let's get started. To keep it simple, let's use an example. Let's say Chris makes $3,000 a month and spends $3,000 on his monthly expenses. This leaves him with no money left over each month. He also has a $10,000 balance on his credit card with a 21% interest rate and a $400 payment each month. To pay off his credit card without making more money, he first needs to figure out which expenses he cannot pay with a credit card, like rent, mortgage, and utilities, and put that amount in his bank account. Then put all expenses he can pay with a credit card, such as gas, food, subscriptions, etc., on his card. For example, the only expense Chris cannot pay with a credit card is his $1,000 rent. So when he gets paid, he'll need to set that aside in his bank account to cover his rent every month. This leaves him with $2,000 for the rest of the month to pay for his other expenses. What he's gonna do is put those $2,000 into his credit card. This will lower his balance from $10,000 to $8,000. Now, what's cool about this is that once he moves his leftover $2,000 into his credit card, that will cover both his regular monthly expenses and satisfy his $400 monthly credit card payment, eliminating this bill altogether. So just like that, he created $400 in cash flow where there was none before. The best part is that every time he pays down his balance, the interest he has to pay gets smaller because credit card companies charge interest based on your average daily balance. So the lower his balance, the less interest he has to pay each month. Now, since he's satisfying his $400 minimum payments, his only expenses will be $1,600 per month, which brings his balance to $9,600 at the end of the month. In the second month, Chris does the same thing. He puts his rent in his bank account and moves the rest of his $2,000 onto his card. And his balance will go down to $7,600 and lower his balance to $9,200. So in just 2 months, he has paid off $800. In the third month, he'll do it again, and that'll lower his balance to $8,800. That's now $1,200 that he has paid off in just 3 months without changing anything, not getting a new job or anything like that. All he did was use his credit card like a debit card to pay for his monthly bills. If he keeps doing this each month, his balance will keep going down until the credit card is completely paid off. He'll also pay less interest each month, and his credit score will increase over time because whenever you pay down your balances, your credit scores go up. Plus, if he uses a rewards credit card to pay for most of his monthly expenses, he could earn cash back, miles, or points, which he could then use those rewards to further pay down his balances or on whatever he wants. As you can see on the screen, you can see how his balance will go down month over month using this strategy and how long it would take him to fully pay off his credit card. Now, if Chris decides not to pay off his $10,000 balance with a 21% interest rate, he'll end up paying $2,100 a year in interest, which is the same as $5.75 per day. But if he uses velocity banking and brings his balance down to, $8,000, he'd now only pay $1,680 in interest per year. If he lowers it further to $6,000, he'd only pay $1,260 in interest. That's $840 he can keep in his pocket. So as you can see, using velocity banking helps you pay down your balances with the money you already make each month, lowers how much interest you pay overall, increases your credit score, and saves you money in the long run. But if you want to save even more money on interest and pay off your credit cards even faster, I highly recommend getting a zero interest credit card. These cards are great because they let you move your balance from a high interest credit card into one with no interest for a set time, usually 12 to 24 months. For example, if you owe $5,000 on a credit card, you can get a zero interest card, transfer your balance, and avoid paying interest for a little while. This gives you time to pay off your debt faster without extra costs. However, you usually need good credit to get approved for these cards. So if your score isn't high right now, start using the velocity banking strategy to pay down your credit cards. And after a few payments, your credit score should go up. And then you can try applying for a zero interest card. Now, when you're looking for a zero interest credit card, make sure it has no annual fee and a low balance transfer fee. This is a fee you pay to move your debt from one card to another, usually 3 to 5% of the amount you're transferring. For example, if you transfer $1,000 and the fee is 3%, you'd pay about $30 for the transfer. Now, even though there's a small fee up front, moving your balance to a zero interest credit card means that all your payments will go straight to reducing your principal balance instead of paying high interest. This can save you a lot of money and help you pay off your debt faster if done correctly. For example, if you have a $5,000 balance on a credit card with 20% interest, you'd pay way more in interest every month than a one-time transfer fee of about $150, which is 3% of $5,000. Some great zero interest credit cards to consider are the Chase Freedom Unlimited, Capital One Quicksilver, Citi Custom Cash Card, Discover It Cashback Card, and the Amex Blue Cash Everyday Card. On top of zero interest, these credit cards also come with awesome sign-up bonuses, which is basically free money when you spend a certain amount of money. You can use that bonus to further pay down your balances. If you want to learn more or apply for these credit cards, I've included my referral links down in the description. I've also added some other great options on the screen, including cards with longer zero periods if you need more time to pay off your credit card. Just keep in mind that these often come with higher transfer fees, around 5%. Feel free to pause if you like. Now, before we wrap up, it's important to note that velocity banking takes a lot of discipline. And you shouldn't be spending more on your credit card than your regular monthly expenses because that's only going to add on to your balance. However, emergencies do happen, so if an emergency comes up and you need to use your credit card, you obviously can. Just try not to use it too much and stick to the plan until your credit card is fully paid off. You don't want to start racking up your credit card as you're paying it off because that'll be a vicious cycle and it'll only make the process longer. Again, you must be disciplined with this in order for it to work. Also, keep in mind that you can adjust the velocity banking strategy to fit your own income, expenses, and preferences. If you'd rather keep some of your expense money in your bank account instead of putting it all towards your credit card, that's totally fine. Just look at your numbers and see how the strategy could work best for you. Also, remember that there are many other ways to pay off credit card debt. I actually recently made a video on this, so feel free to check it out if you want more ideas. So that's exactly how to pay off credit card debt using the money you already make. But there's one important thing I didn't mention that can really speed up how fast your credit score goes up, and that's when to pay your credit card bill. So I recommend watching this next video where I cover the best day to pay off your credit card bill. Also, if you want to stay updated on finance topics like credit scores, credit cards, debt management, bank accounts, real estate, and much more, sign up for my newsletter using the link down in the description. See you on the next one.